This is the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa. Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet world, West Alabama. How are we doing today? It is NCAA tournament day for your Alabama Crimson Tide, and we are live in Tampa, not in the Derek Daniels State Farm Studios. We appreciate everybody watching us on the Bama Central YouTube channel, the Bama Central Facebook page. You're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Going to have a lot of fun this morning. We're going to blitz through the very first day of the tournament. We're going to talk just a little bit more about Alabama and Hofstra, what we heard from Coach Nate Oates and Coach Speedy Claxton yesterday. We spent some time with both programs getting ready for today's game, and we are here. So we can't wait to talk about it. The show is brought to you by Purple Turtle Roofing. Visit roofturtle.com for all of your roofing needs. You can check them out online. It doesn't matter if you have a metal roof or a shingle roof. They'll take care of you. They'll come out and give you a free roof inspection and make sure that you have the peace of mind that you deserve. That's Purple Turtle Roofing, roofturtle.com. I'm here with my man Theo Fernandez. You can follow him at Theo Fernandez _. Going to be taking a small break from the baseball this weekend for a little bit of basketball here in Tampa. So can't wait to talk about it. We got a voicemail from Hunter. Dax, I did get your voicemail. I really appreciate you calling, and I know that you're going through kind of a tough personal time. I hate that for you so much. Dax's voicemail is pretty much football related, so we're going to play it on Monday while we get our reset, because today's going to be all about Alabama basketball, NCAA tournament, and kind of getting us ready to head over to the arena and see if the Crimson Tide can get to the round of 32. So we do have a couple voicemails. I think they're both from Hunter, setting up this game, talking about the tournament, this, that, and the other. So let's get right into it. Theo Fernandez, good morning. How we doing, sir?
What a day at hoops yesterday, Joe. That was awesome. Inject that whole day into my veins. VCU, the best day the Atlantic 10 has had in over a decade. VCU, 19-point comeback, sending Jaron Stevenson back home to Chapel Hill with the Tar Heels. And then Georgia, the Bulldogs got once again domesticated by the Billikens out of St. Louis. That Billiken is the coolest mascot of all time, man. So I'm having a good day. And I love this tournament, man. I love it.
As we get into day two, I want to shout out a couple people. We've got a bunch of people that have participated in the Joe Gaither Show Bracket Challenge. So if you're among that, I really appreciate it. 11 Seed Nightmare is the name of the leading bracket. 11 Seed Nightmare and Andy Glisson, who is my cousin, have only missed one game. So shout out to you, Andy, and 11 Seed Nightmare. I believe that's at Bama Perspective on the Twitter machine, because Bama Perspective tweeted me along with several other bracket challenges that he is in, saying that he's in first place. So congratulations to you at Bama Perspective. Congratulations to my man Andy Glisson. I need to get Andy on the show. He's a basketball expert. So both of those guys only had, and I don't know if Bama Perspective is a lady. I'm sorry. Only missed one game yesterday. Congratulations, they're both at the top of our list. I hit 11 out of 16. Theo, you're a little higher here. You are, there you go. You hit 12 out of the 16. So 120 for Theo.
Philip Dyson in there. There's a name we know.
Yeah. There we go.
There's some names in here.
We got a lot of fun people that have participated in our bracket challenge. So we appreciate everybody.
Sklar.
Yeah, Henry Sklar, Kim Rankin, writing for Boston College on SI in here.
Where's Katie Wyndham at?
Oh, I wonder. I know Katie Wyndham's father is in here at Jeff Wyndham. He's sitting there at 11 out of 10, at 11 out of 16 as well. Simon Bestnoy, 11 out of 16.
That's Cam Metzger.
My man Cam Metzger, 11 out of 16. So 11's okay. Look,
Theo doesn't know ball.
Whoever user Theo doesn't know ball, I hope you have a great day today and move up the leaderboard. I see my friend Hick Flair right there as well with 11 out of 16. Oh, Bama beat Ryder Hunter to Cyber only 10 out of the 16. So we will see how it goes the rest of the day. Darius Acuff, Truther obviously had a very good day with Darius Acuff. So a lot of fun yesterday watching the brackets and watching everything unfold. but we are here to talk about Alabama and get ready for today's game against Hofstra. The one thing I'm going to throw at you, Theo, before we throw this voicemail on and get some reaction, we did the research last night. We've been talking about Hofstra all week, about Preston Edmeade and Cruz Davis, not Cash Jones. I've got it right by now. It's locked in. It's Cruz Davis. We've been talking about those guys scoring big, bunches of buckets throughout the season. Cruz Davis, 36 points against Pittsburgh, and Preston Edmeade, his season high, or his career high as a freshman, is 26 points. We did the math yesterday. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different players. 7 different players reset their career high against the Alabama Crimson Tide this year. You had Zuby Ejiofor scored 27. Darius Adams for Maryland scored 20. Braden Burries, Arizona, scored 28. Tyler Tanner for Vanderbilt scored 29. Nate Ament for Tennessee scored 29 as well. Arkansas, you all saw Darius Acuff Jr. drop 49 in Colby Coliseum. And Cannon Catchings for the Georgia Bulldogs hit 32. So, Theo, on the spot, will Preston Edmeade or Cruz Davis reset their career high? So that's 37 for Cruz Davis, and that's 27. They'll have to get to 27 for Preston Edmeade to be a new career high.
I believe that one of the two of them will. I think that one of the two will. And you look at Edmeade. Edmeade set his high of 26 in the conference championship game against Monmouth. He scored 22 the game before. Like, I was looking at it.
He's heating up.
He is heating up. He is playing the best basketball of his life right now.
Is that too old for you?
No, I get that right.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
You know, you see it around.
He's on fire.
Yeah. But no, Edmeade is on fire. And Cruz Davis has had some down scoring games, mostly because teams made it such a focal point of, we are going to shut down Cruz Davis. And then you look at Edmeade. Edmeade goes crazy. Nate Oates understands this, obviously. Nate Oates, he talked about it. He gave me a great answer on, well, I don't know if it's smart to double team these guys. And how, basically talking about the dynamic of how you stop them. Really fun piece on that I wrote on which team will control the tempo of that game. It's a challenge. It becomes even more of a challenge when you don't have Aiden Holloway. Aiden Holloway, I think his defensive abilities have been really slept on because obviously he's not the biggest defensive playmaker of all time. He understands what he's doing out there. He understands how to play defense as part of a cohesive unit. And that is something that, quite frankly, we have not seen at all from Jaleel Bethea. At all. He looks lost on the court when he is there on that end of the floor. And Cruz Davis has exceptional court vision. So I look at Davis and I look at the plays he's made this year and the way he's exploited teams. If there is any lapse in positioning at all, if that weak side is a little underguarded, he will find it. So, but that, like, whoever is there needs to be incredibly tapped in. And it's like, yeah, you trust Latrell Wrightson. You trust Houston Millette. You obviously, like, I almost wonder, like, what do you do with Amari Allen defensively, right? Do you put him on one of the guards? There's a lot of stuff you can do. But you cannot in any way, shape, or form afford to be tapped out at all against these two guards.
It's going to be a huge, huge challenge for Alabama today. And Jaleel Bethea, when I spoke to him yesterday, I said, what's the area of your game you think you have improved the most? What's you're most proudest of, or you take the step? Theo, what do you think he said?
Defense?
Yes, you're talking about him looking lost out there, and I don't really disagree with you. But he said, I've taken a bigger step on the defensive end. Nobody asked me to play defense in high school, so it wasn't really about that. And if you followed Miami's season last year, it was an absolute disaster from top to bottom. Not really Jaleel Bethea's fault. They had all kinds of administrative problems and coaching problems in their program, which led him in the transfer portal. And I think that this year with Nate Oates was probably one of the first times he's ever been asked to play defense. And he did okay when he was asked to match up with Josh Hubbard. It's going to be very interesting to see if he rises to the challenge today. We talked about it yesterday on the show about will he be pressing with his larger opportunity, with his larger role. He admitted yesterday when I spoke to him, yeah, there's times that I've been pressing for sure. And I think that he's ready to, not that you ever want to not have Aiden Holloway or not have a better guard, a better player, but I think that this will be will benefit Jalil Bethea in his. Okay, I'm not just going to get 7 minutes. I'm probably going to get 17 minutes, and I can let the game kind of. I can be a part of the offense instead of apart from the offense. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does today. I think that he is probably outside of Sherelle being the most important player. I think he's the most interesting player for Alabama today because of what a larger role. Will he go fill it up 12, 15 points? Will he defend well? Will he not turn the basketball over? It's going to be very, very interesting to see how he handles a larger role because I don't think that Coach Oates is going to cut the rotation down even further. I think he's just going to next man up, Jalil Bethea. Let's see what you can do with these Aiden Holloway minutes.
It's funny, this weekend has such major implications for Bethea, for his career, right? If you go out and you play some great basketball and you make some big plays in 2 games this weekend without Aiden Holloway there, you're getting some crazy offers in the portal versus, who knows what it looks like, right? I think Bethea is a guy it's really hard to get a read on what the future could look like for him. And this weekend really, I think it'll tell us a lot about do we think he has a legitimate future in Tuscaloosa with the pieces that are coming in? Because the fact of the matter is that you've been in the system. You've spent a whole season learning this. If you're not ready, if you don't have the ability at this point to be tapped in, to be a team basketball player for this squad, then I think we might have some problems. So I don't know where it's going. You don't know what other schools think of him. Million different variables, but we'll learn a lot this weekend.
Yeah, it's a huge weekend for him. I totally agree. All right, let's turn to the voicemail line. Let's get going on some predictions for today's game, and then we will kind of wrap it up because we're going to head over to what do we see the name of the arena was?
International Arena.
That's a mouthful. I'm never going to remember that. Benchmark International Arena. We'll be headed over there actually early so we can get in there and see Akron and Texas Tech. Coach Oates put us on the scout for Akron and Texas Tech, so we've got our notes and everything. Exactly. We'll have your full game plan ready for you, Coach. We'll pass it off for you in the post game press conference. So we'll get over to Benchmark International Arena here in just a few minutes, but let's head to the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. We would love to take your call reacting to the Alabama game or setting up the next game, ideally the round of 32, or reacting to, unfortunately, the end of the season. Here is Hunter Brantley.
Boys, game day, guys. Get it. Been waiting for this all year long. Ever since November, ever since last year when we got embarrassed by Duke, here it is. All comes down to this. No Holloway, no problem. No problem. Just go out there. Let's play blue-collar basketball. Get it done. I heard y'all talking about Hofstra the other day, and I heard a lot of talk about Cruz Davis. And he's great and all, and he's going to get his. He's going to score 20 to 30 points. But I'm telling you right now, they will not win this game if Preston Edmeade does not hold his own as well. Not only do they need to count on Cruz Davis to score at least 25 points, Edmeade needs to have a career night as well. His career has 26, and that's where he needs to score around 26, probably more than that, if they want to have a chance to win this game. If he does not come out shooting like he's capable of, if he does not have a career night, if he is 3 for 15 from the field, they will lose. The only chance they have is Preston Edmeade and Cruz Davis combining for around 50 to 60 points, which is possible. They can do that. They can. I'm excited. Can't wait for the game. How about the 16 seeds today? Howard and Taina. Hey, Howard's giving Michigan all they can handle. They're a pain in the butt. Love it. Really do. Alrighty. I'll at y'all later.
Hey, so he says the only chance Hofstra has is if Cruz Davis and Preston Edmeade both have career days together. Is there enough? Silas Sunday. Is there enough outside of the two Hofstra Pride?
And Silas Sunday. Like those two, it's fascinating because I was looking just through all the clips tonight. You don't see them share the court together all that much. And I wonder how much that would happen in this game. one of the things that I thought was really fascinating was talking with Speedy Claxton and asking him about his bigs. And he basically said that he thinks his bigs are better equipped for this Alabama game. And you look at it and you're like, well, yeah, you got a 6'11" guy and a 7-footer. There's no CAA team that you can really play them together against, right? Alabama, like when you have that SEC team, yeah, you can. The other guy, and this is kind of an I don't want to call it an oversight by me, but so they've got this guy, Herman Plotnikov, who is he's the senior. He's the most experienced player on the team. I haven't brought his name up at all in any of the articles, anything. And that's mostly just because he really doesn't do anything special. He's really just like I'm this team stretch wing. And what's the average?
Let's see. He's averaging his points, 3-point makes. He's shooting 38% from three. He's shooting basically 50% from the 2-point range.
Want to give us numbers, Joe?
Well,
are you lost in the Ken Palm?
Exactly. Ken Palm got me
like that, and he's just a solid player, right? Every team's going to have a solid number 3 scorer. Like that's the thing where, yeah, he will step up and hit the shots if he needs to, but he's not really he's averaging 9 and 3, right? He might step up, make some shots. He's not a guy that you're really super worried about coming in. But I look at, you have shooters. Like there are a lot of clips of he hit the dagger to beat Syracuse because Cruz Davis threw him just an unreal pass, and because there was poor weak side support, all of a sudden he's got an open 3 in the final minute of a game. Though there are guys who can make you pay, right? Another interesting thing, Hofstra doesn't have a single player shooting over 50%. So a lot of their offense comes, from the 3-point game, right? It comes from, I'm Cruz Davis, and I'm a great shooter. Preston Edmeade is a great shooter. This guy Plotnikov can knock it down. They like to shoot a lot. First of all, they don't take a ton of shots, right? Slow pace of play. There are guys who can make plays, but no, the scoring, the lion's share of it will be done by Davis and Edmeade. I was texting with some guys earlier, and I set the line at 46.5.
For the pair.
Would you take the over-under on 46.5?
Yes, I would, but I wouldn't. If you gave me 51.5, I'm going under. I think I could, because I think I can see them both going for 24. I can see them both, because that puts you at 48, right? Yeah. I can see them both going for 24, 25 apiece. The issue is who's helping them. Do you get 10 points from Herman? Do you get anything from Silas Sunday, Victory and Yetu? Like, what are you getting from these other guys? Does that get you to 80? Because I think you're looking at Alabama at 76 plus, 78 plus.
I think it has a lot less to do with the point totals and more with what does the offense look like?
The pace.
The most important thing is who can control the pace. That is the biggest.
Yes.
There are 2 storylines that will control this.
Yes.
One of them being the pace, the other one being the battle on the boards.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the battle on the boards is massive because Hofstra, with how slow this team plays, relied so heavily on we're going to get 8 to 10 second chance points on you because we have 2 very effective offensive rebounders.
Right, you don't have to shoot. You talk about nobody shooting over 50%. If you're all at 42, if you're 38, 46%, but you're getting a bunch of offensive rebounds and extra looks and extra possessions, then you don't have to play fast, and you can just chuck up shots and we'll get a rebound and tap it back in. And so I think that's really what it comes down to today is the pace and the rebounding. I think you nailed it right there, Theo.
I guess just to kind of put a bow on that, what I look at is, okay, Edmeade Davis, you're controlling the pace. We're running these deliberate, half-court sets. One, are the guys around going to make shots? And Plotnikov can hit him. They've got a couple other guys who can hit him. But then also, what does the response look like from Alabama? Because we've seen the Crimson Tide play slower than they've wanted to at times, right? And absolutely. Like, you look at a game like Tennessee, look at a game like even the which one of was it the South Carolina game that was the slow pace, or am I mixing that up with?
Played Ole Miss a little bit slower. South Carolina was a little bit slower as well.
I feel like there have been times where it's been something that I've talked about as a key to the game in some of those lower level SEC matchups. Dictate the pace. And I've been underwhelmed by the Crimson Tide's ability to do that at times. So I'm fascinated to see what it looks like against this Hofstra team. One thing that's interesting, Hofstra, a lot of you guys probably saw the quote. Speedy Claxton said he was preparing for Alabama like it was William and Mary on steroids. When you look at the adjusted tempo stats, Alabama is 73.1, William Mary is 72.6 possessions per 40 minutes. That is nearly identical. So Hofstra goes in late January, loses to William and Mary. I think they let the Tribe score 87 on. They played again in the CAA quarterfinals, and they held William and Mary to 61. They made them play their style of basketball. So this Hofstra team has experience doing that. It's not like they haven't seen this type of play before. Alabama, still, even with all we're saying, right, it comes down to the fact that at the end of the day, we can hype them up all we want. It's a Coastal Athletic Association team. You have no excuse to lose this game.
None at all. The slowest team in the SEC, Tennessee at 306th in the country in pace.
Hofstra's 317.
So you're not far off from that right there. Missouri at 247, Oklahoma 243, and then coming down South Carolina 234. So they played a lot of an Ole Miss 236. So they've played a handful of slower teams this season. But you saw it last Friday. A team that makes shots, a team that got some offensive rebounds, and a team that plays slowly. Ole Miss really, really, really frustrated Alabama. So we will see if they can and put it back together and get on track today and advance to the round of 32. Do you want me to go ahead and play the second Hunter voicemail, or do you want to make our game prediction, lock down a score, and then play it? Well, I think that's probably better because Hunter has a bigger – an NCAA tournament bigger picture. Right. There's a second voicemail that Hunter gave for a bigger picture NCAA tournament take based on Thursday's games. I think I'm feeling an Alabama win. Alabama favored by still by double digits. I believe it's 11 and a half as we wake up this morning. I like Alabama to win. I like Hofstra to cover. I don't think. Well, there's a world where Alabama wins by 20, where Alabama absolutely just buries Hofstra. You shoot well, you do control the pace, you don't give up the offensive rebounds, and you get a couple steals, a couple fast break points, and Alabama wins 85, 85-65. There's that world, but it's the tournament, and things tighten up, and nerves happen and settle in. The officiating, they kind of let some more things go. So I think Alabama fans, be prepared. If there are, man, that should have been a foul. That was a foul in the regular season. There's going to be some of those plays that Alabama just has to play through.
If you guys watched the Gonzaga-Kennesaw game late, you saw Gonzaga get a couple calls that didn't go their way, and all of a sudden it goes from constant 10-point game to, wow, Kennesaw's down 4 points. Like, you had moments like that, like you said, Jeff.
Yeah, I do think Alabama will win, and I do see a world where they cover and cover large. But if I had $100 and I had to bet it, I'd be betting on Alabama money line, Hofstra plus the 11.5, and I think that I would settle it at somewhere around 80. I think I'd settle it at 80, 81 at 81.74. 81.74 feels about right. 81.74, 81.75 feels like what we're going to see today.
I'm going to be in the exact same range as you, just about, Joe. Like, I can see Alabama will hit 80, right? Like, that seems just about like a foregone conclusion with the way this team is produced. Gives me a little pause on, okay, if you're playing much slower and you are, missing these shots because your best three-point shooter is out. Yeah, 91.7 points per game. Joe just pulled it up for me what Alabama's averaging. The number that I'm a little more interested about offensively is the assist number. You see 16 assists per game. Holloway averages what, like 4.5 if I'm not mistaken? So you're losing one of your leading passers, and let's see what Holloway averages.
4.
He averages 4 assists per game. Who's going to step up and make those plays? Because you don't think it's going to be Jaleel Bethea, right? He doesn't scream, oh, yeah, this is the guy who's going to distribute.
And
right?
London Jemison, not much of a passer.
No, London Jemison and but they both tend to end possessions one way or the other. So what does the ball movement look like? I think is a big concern. Houston will be involved. Like Latrell passes up a lot of shots in good positions. So I wonder what the ball movement's going to look like, and I wonder how many open threes you're getting. And it's just there's a world where the offense looks really clunky and they're playing slow, which is why I think Alabama will indeed fall under 80. I'm going to give Alabama 78, Hofstra 70 in this one. I think, Alabama probably – I think you're really sweating it at the under 8 break of this game. And I think maybe Alabama gets a little bit of separation, and it's like, Hofstra's a little, a couple shots away from making us really worry. But yeah, I think Hofstra will be somewhat in it for the full 40 minutes.
I agree. So get ready, strap up your belt and put your helmet on, put your blue collar, put your hard hat on, because I think it's going to be a challenging day. But in the end, I think Alabama will pull ahead and win and advance to the round of 32. And we'll see if they're taking on the Texas Tech Red Raiders or the Akron Zips on Sunday right here in Benchmark International Arena. All right, there we go. The home of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Before I hit this other voicemail, because it is a little bigger picture, it seems like a small transition. We're going to tell you about our friends at Purple Turtle Roofing. You can call them today at 877-787-6635. At Purple Turtle Roofing, we're not just another contractor. We're your neighbor and your advocate when it comes to protecting your home or business. With years of hands-on experience, top-tier certification, and a commitment to excellence, we've built a reputation as Alabama's go-to roofing solution. We specialize in residential roofing, commercial roofing, emergency storm repairs, full-on roof replacements, insurance claim support, and more. Visit them online today at roofturtle.com for all of your roofing needs. They'll come out, give you a free roof inspection. It's been beautiful down here in Tampa this week, but spring storm season is here in West Alabama and all over the Southeast. So check out roofturtle.com. Hit them up for your free roof inspection. They'll come out and give you the information that you need to give you the peace of mind that you deserve. Roofing with heart, built to last. Purple Turtle Roofing.
Off the weed.
All right, so let's head back to the voicemail line at 205-462-7340, extension 800. I think Hunter may have just been watching a bunch of basketball yesterday and had us on his brain, so let's see what else is on his mind. I did give it a little bit of time in between did I give it too much? There it is.
I know y'all are probably tired of me calling all the time.
First off, I'm not tired of you calling all the time. Call whenever you feel like it. That's what the voicemail line is there for.
But, I'm not doing anything else other than watching boring basketball.
I'll pause it right there for you.
Just keep going. I need
this night slate has been a dud. Absolutely pathetic. I think it might be time to have a dialogue about this whole March Madness topic. What St. Louis is doing to Georgia right now, they are beating the absolute brakes off of them. They should be in jail for animal cruelty. This is ridiculous. 102-77 final score. I feel like they were up by 40 at one point. I kid you not. I swear to God they were up by 40 at one point in that game. That should never happen in an 8-9 matchup. And most of these games tonight have been blowouts. I don't think there's been one game tonight that started at 5:50, 5 o'clock, whatever time the night slate started, that was within single digits. Really the whole day. It's been all blowouts for the most part. There's been 3 or 4 really, really good games. Everything else has been one-sided. And it makes you wonder, it makes you think, why is this happening? I feel like this wasn't happening 4 years ago, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. It was close. You saw FDU beat Purdue, Princeton made a run that year when we were the number 1 seed. What happened to March Madness, man? It's just not the same. It doesn't feel the same anymore. South Florida, that game was supposed to be close. They were 1 of 19 at one point from 3. I don't know, man. It doesn't have the aura like it used to for some reason. Basketball's always going to be fun. The tournament's always going to be fun. But it just doesn't feel the same anymore. I don't know why. High Point, Wisconsin was great. Chase Johnston got so much Jack Golke in him. TCU and Ohio State was good. Once Duke took the lead against Siena, I knew that game was a wash. It was a wrap. Once that happened, I mean, VCU, Carolina was great. AJ Dibansa, F you, dude. Should have came to Bama. Should have came to freaking Bama, bro. But I mean, back to my point. Like, some of these games are great. Like I just mentioned, there's 3 or 4 really good games. But for the most part, just a bunch of duds. And it's like, why? It doesn't make any sense. Very perplexing. It really is. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. Hopefully today will be better. Today needs to be better. And I hope it is. I really do. I'm tired of seeing one-sided, lopsided games.
All right, I got 3 small things, Theo, and then you can go because I know you're pent up energy right now. First, I believe it's Siena, not Siena. 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 It's Siena. Second, I went through the scores just now, and I counted 7 good games. 7 real good games. You had 16 games in today, 16 more games. Like, you've got a bunch of games here. 7 out of 16 were close and tight. With enough TV overlap, yes, I understand. The very last set of 4 games were not very exciting. They didn't have that tight back and forth. But I counted 7 good games, and he said there was no good games in the evening session. Well, I spent my dinner at a local restaurant watching North Carolina and VCU, and I walked back over here and watched the second half and watched VCU storm on back and play some overtime. So my evening experience was pretty good. So yeah, it's those 3 things. It's 7 out of 16, not no good games, not 1 or 2 good games. I counted 7. You want to just go right through them real quick? I counted Siena and Duke because come on, a 6-point game with a 16 seed where Siena's playing almost the entire game and leading most of the game.
Right,
exactly. I'm counting Kennesaw State and Gonzaga. Yes, it was 9 points, but Kennesaw State challenging them the entire game.
Was fun.
I'm counting High Point. Wild game for High Point. I'm counting South Florida. Despite South Florida being down, they did storm back and make it close. I'm counting VCU. I'm counting Texas. I'm counting TCU, Ohio State. There's my 7. And lastly, he said, it doesn't feel the same. The aura doesn't feel the same. Well, all you got to do, man, you want to feel emotionally just joy, all you got to do is look up those High Point radio broadcasters, the 2 students who were going outside of their dadgum mind, losing their brains on the sidelines, calling their school advancing to the round of 32. Amazing. So double perspective. The youth of the High Point student radio guys, and then I believe this radio man for Nebraska has been calling games. I think I saw for 40. I thought I saw 47. 41 years. So 40 years plus watching Nebraska basketball, and he's sitting there getting choked up talking about we don't have to dream anymore. We've waited all these years. We watched March Madness dreaming about it being us, and we don't have to dream. And the dream continues on Saturday. Just the older man, the older perspective from the radio, and the youthful jubilance. 2 moments for 2 schools. Just March is beautiful. It's magic. I'm sorry you didn't get 16 1-point games in double overtime, but 7 out of 16 with a bunch of magical moments on day 1. What more can you need?
This was better than either of the days last year by a long shot. Last year was a down year for March Madness. And you get everybody saying, Cinderellas are dead, NIL's ruined the tournament. No, you all overreacted. This was everything the tournament was supposed to be yesterday. It was a phenomenal day of basketball. And also, I'm going to be honest, if we go back, 2021, 15 seed Oral Roberts to the Sweet 16. 2022, 15 seed St. Peter's to the Elite 8. 2023, 15 seeded Princeton to the Sweet 16. 16 seeded FDU. You've got FAU going to the Final Four. We were really spoiled for 3 years, abnormally spoiled for 3 years with just crazy stuff that's not supposed to happen. So I think we fell back to the mean in 2024. We had a down year in 2025, and now it looks like we're right back up to normal March Madness. So yeah, okay, it's a little. Those 3 years were generational. Those 3 years were special. I mean, we had 12-seeded Oregon State in the Elite Eight that year in 2021. We had a ton of just absurd moments lately. We're getting them this year. How much does that High Point upset win for those guys? How much? Did you see the post-game interview?
The first two-pointer the young man has made all season.
And then pulling up from the logo, and then that post-game interview talking about John 15:13 and what it means. And it's a phenomenal story, man. High Point was a beautiful game to watch. VCU storming back, the comeback for their first win since 2016 in the tournament. A school that has nothing but basketball, that everything is basketball for them, and they come out and they get it done. And then St. Louis, all those St. Louis fans traveling up to Buffalo and getting to watch that massive win. And there are going to be blowouts. There always have been. Any of those tournaments that you sit back and feel nostalgic about, there were a ton of blowouts in every single one of those years.
Yeah.
Those teams that pull off the blowouts very often go out and do special things going forward. Like so much of the first round of March Madness is, yes, it's the great moments, it's the upsets, but it's also your introduction to these teams that are going to go and do special things going forward, setting the stage for another 5 rounds of phenomenal basketball. It is the greatest sporting event ever created. Even like you watch that Howard, Michigan game, and that kid from Howard who was draining all those shots, and they go into the half down by 4, and you're watching it, and yes, you know Michigan's going to blow them out in the second half, but it doesn't matter because you are watching a bunch of kids give every single thing they have and leaving it all on the basketball court and creating a moment they'll talk about forever. It is a special tournament. Yes, the end slate was 3 blowouts, and then it was a really fun game between Kennesaw State and Gonzaga. But I was overwhelmed by this first day. And I think anybody, I don't support public executions unless it's for somebody who is trying to change and take away the sacred event that is March Madness.
The one thing I thought about yesterday as far as changes go, it was the High Point coach, right, that it said nobody would play us. They wouldn't play Miami of Ohio, right? Then we couldn't get games. I think that we should consider some sort of, you see the mid-majors, it's one bid league, it's one bid league, it's one bid league. I think that we should consider some sort of a formulaic, this league might be a 2-bid league, just based off just historical success and obviously maybe create some sort of parameters where every couple of years you reevaluate how many bids is automatic. And obviously you do want at-large bids. You need them. You need them, absolutely. But I think what you saw yesterday from St. Louis, from VCU, from the High Points of the world, and it means that maybe you should, what's the big deal? Do you really want, I'm sorry, but do you really want a Missouri in this tournament?
Nobody is excited to watch Missouri today. Nobody wants to watch them play basketball.
Right. So you're taking like the 9th, 10th, 12th, 15th SEC's team, not 15, but like you're taking one of the bottom end teams in the SEC and you do it in the Big Ten, you do it in the ACC. So just pick your favorite or least favorite conference and look at the bottom end, and there you go. You'll have a villain in the tournament. And you're thinking, is that team really worthy of being in over some of these higher quality mid-major teams? That's the only adjustment. No, not format. That's the only adjustment that I think I would consider right now.
And look, it is always a mixed bag because you'll sometimes see those teams go on runs, right? Like we can talk about Georgia negatively and how and Missouri, but at the end of the day, here you have an 11 seed Texas that many people didn't think should be in, that now is playing for a trip to the Sweet 16, and that highlights the chaos of March. Even when you can talk all you want about which conferences should have teams in, did the committee get it right? At the end of the day, every single team that gets selected has the ability to partake in the magic that is March, to go on a run. Me and Joe could be sitting here eating our words when Missouri's sitting in the Sweet 16 in a couple days. It is just such a special event, man. And any version of whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to criticize for the selection, for the teams that are playing, for the format, all of it goes away when you just sit down and watch the games. Does not get better than this.
All right, Theo. So 16 more games today. Alabama takes on Hofstra at 3:15 Eastern, 2:15 Central. So don't be messed up with the time change that we're in Tampa. So it's 2:15 for a lot of our listeners and viewers. You'll be able to see it on True TV. You'll be able to follow all the coverage at BamaCentral.com. Henry Oscalar is going to be there. Theo Fernandez double underscore is going to be there. Katie Wyndham underscore and myself, Joe Gaither 6. We're all headed over there in just a little bit. So Theo, obviously our focus is Alabama and Hofstra, but there are 15 other games today. If I gave you the magic wand and said no work responsibilities, but you only get to watch one game. Only one game. Which of the other 15 are you saying that's the game I'm watching? That's the one that I'm locked into, either because there's a storyline you're into, or because it's going to be a 1-point game, or because you want to see an upset, or you believe in the underdog. It doesn't matter why, but you only got one other game outside of Alabama Hofstra. Who would you be watching?
Miami of Ohio, Tennessee.
Oh, you picked my pick.
Miami of Ohio, Tennessee. This Miami team.
You picked my pick.
So fun all year. They were so fun yesterday. And it's another one, right, where you have the fast, Miami of Ohio team versus the slow-paced Tennessee Vols team. And I think Miami will come out on top of that. I think it'll be an upset. I think it'll be an incredibly fun game. You know what your backup's going to be, Joe?
Well, I had a couple of backups, but I need to pick one now because I was definitely going Miami, Ohio. Because hey, let's go Red Hawks. Let's keep it going. After you go 31-1, and to have all that, well, they may not be on, may not be, and we need to put Auburn in over them. Like, I'm hoping that they just go on a vindicating run to put them deep in the tournament and say, hey, man, 31-1 speaks for itself. That's worthy of an at-large bid. Now, obviously, they did get the at-large bid, but I hope that they vindicate it.
No matter what happens, you already beat SMU. You already have shown you're worthy of a team. So I mean, like Tennessee could go out and win this game. It won't matter. Miami was a tournament team no matter what.
I think the other one that I'm probably going to be looking at is not Miami, Missouri, but I think it's going to be Northern Iowa, St. John's, because everybody's been talking about how hot St. John's is right now, and they could be a Final Four contender, and they screwed Duke by putting St. John's in their region. And Duke looked vulnerable yesterday. I'm wanting to see how powerful St. John's is, and if they take down Northern Iowa. I've seen them, Northern Iowa, picked a handful of times as an upset bid. So I think that would be the next one for me. And plus, it's later in the day, so we'll be done with work and be able to watch that at 7:10 or 6:10 Central Time. If
you and I has a history of upsets.
Yeah, so
many of y'all know.
I'm looking for. It's a huge day. Go ahead.
Let me say though, if I had to pick a number 2, it would be the game we're about to go watch in Akron, Texas Tech. I think look, I know I have Tech in the Sweet 16. I have them beating Alabama. I think Akron's going to make this a really, really fun game. A team that lost just one game, and it's lost just one game since the start of conference play, and that was to Miami of Ohio. This Akron team is legit.
All right, it's going to be a lot of fun, Theo, and we're going to wrap up for the day and head over to Benchmark International Arena. There we go. We got it. Just like we locked in Cruz Davis. We're locking it into the brain there. We're going to head over there and keep up with all our coverage on BamaCentral.com. If Alabama wins, we're going to have an episode tomorrow because we're staying in Tampa for Sunday's game. If Alabama loses tomorrow, we're going to be driving back, and we'll break it all down on Monday. So I just want to let you know what the plan will be. Dax, I really do appreciate your call, and I really do appreciate your voicemail. Our hearts go out to you as you've been dealing with what you're dealing with. Really, really thankful that you still gave us a call. I will play your voicemail on Monday. It's very football-centric, and today is kind of very basketball-centric, so we'll give it full attention on Monday after we kind of do our basketball, whether we're going to the Sweet 16 or wrapping up the season. We'll find that out, but then we'll transition because it'll be a great way to transition back into spring football because spring football resumes next week. The boys are on spring break. We'll hear from Kalen DeBoer, I believe, on Tuesday is the next time we get to go over to the facility. So, Dax, I do appreciate your call. I didn't want you to feel ignored. It is saved in my log here. We'll get to it on Monday because it was very football-centric. Big thanks to Purple Turtle Roofing for sponsoring the program. Visit them online at roofturtle.com. Big thanks to Derek Daniel, State Farm Insurance. Not in the Derek Daniel State Farm studio today, but you can still call him for your insurance needs at 205-758-3391. like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. We're in Tampa, and we're headed over to Benchmark International Arena, and we'll talk to you very soon right here on the Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral and BamaCentral.com.